Hello out there in video land. Okay, I think we got everything going now. It's Christmas. It's hectic. So many things going on. That's right. So that's what it is. Okay, but we're up and running here. Everything looks good. All volumes are good. And welcome to Your City, Your Voice. My name is Paul K. Lemire. Santa Jaws. And holy crap, it's cold in this studio. It's not even 60 degrees, believe it or not. Um, I'm going to be having icicles on me here in a minute. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. It's cold outside, 27 degrees, and it's cold in the studio here. I don't know what the heck happened. Something happened with the heat, I guess. I don't know, but it's chilly. Holy man. Oh, gosh. And today, I don't know why. It's 27 degrees. It was a lot cooler in the last couple days, but it didn't feel this cold. It's the damp, I think. We get a lot of damp with this. And when we get damp, it chills you right through to the bone. Okay. Woo! December 23rd, we're almost there. What do we got? One more day, and then Santa visits us. Oh boy, oh boy. Good time of the year. We like when Santa visits, right? Everybody likes when Santa visits. And we definitely are just happy to have Christmas here. And for a lot of people, I got to say, um, God bless you all, because you know why? There's a lot of people who don't enjoy Christmas. Christmas is a depressing time for them for a lot of different reasons. But remember, there's always somebody out there who you can call and you can talk to, and you've always got a friend out there somewhere. So reach out. Reach out if you're feeling the blahs. A lot of people, Christmas doesn't make them real happy. So, reach out to people. Say Merry Christmas. Let them know you're thinking of them. That's my advice. That's all I can tell you. Let's get to my sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Shop. And all of them asked me to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. No matter where you are, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from my sponsors. And when you look outside here, this weather's getting mushy, schmushy. It's cold. Cars don't start. There's so many things that can go wrong with your car. And I asked Ken Hunter, what things go wrong with cars in this kind of weather? I mean, we know about batteries, but there's other things. And he goes, believe it or not, suspensions. People slide around corners, they hit asphalt. It takes their suspension and torques it a bit, and stopping and starting, and just the crazy stuff that goes on, bumps, ice, tough on your suspension. He goes, a lot of suspension problems. So make sure you get your car into Wild Bill's. And he's going to throw it up on the hoist. He's going to check everything, your brakes, your fluids, everything important to your car to keep it running in winter without having a problem. And you don't want any problems in this weather. Believe me, I just walking into the studio drove me nuts. This weather's so crazy out there. So you don't want to be broke down on the side of the road. Get it to Ken. He's going to check everything out on your car, run a computer scan, make sure everything's running A1, number one. And at the end of the day, you won't have to worry. You won't be broke down on the side of the road. Be proactive, not reactive. You don't want to react to crappy stuff that happens. And if you get in a wreck, I mean, this weather, there's a lot of wackos driving around. Take it to Ken's. He's got a full body shop there, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Get your car out in showroom condition. And a Merry Christmas to everybody from Wild Bill's. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, let's get on here. Let's get on with this show. We got lots to talk about today. Including the weather. I mean, the weather's wacky out there. It's freezing, it's cold, it's gonna get warmer. It's supposed to go up into they said up into the 40s. And maybe it will. But I don't know who ordered this weather right here. I didn't, that's for sure. But I didn't want any snow for Christmas. I wanted it to be dry. I don't like schlepping around in rotten weather. That's not my idea of a good time at Christmas or any time of the year. So please stop it. Bring us the 50s. Get rid of the snow, and then let's have at least a dry, warmer New Year. Give me a break. We get into January, sure. I don't mind that. But February, nah, forget about it. Forget about it. Okay, let's start with a couple of public service announcements, right? That's the kind of guy I am. I let the public know what's going on, and I'm going to talk about garbage. Interesting, huh? Garbage. Yeah. Well, here we go. If your garbage is collected on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday during the next 2 weeks, forget about it. Delay putting it out for a day because there's no collection on Wednesday. Obviously, it's Christmas Day. Our trash guys are not going to be out on Christmas Day collecting anything. They're going to be at home having turkey with their families. So Wednesday will be Thursday, Thursday will be Friday, and Friday will be Saturday. That's right. They're working on Saturday to make up for it. Time and a half, baby. Same with New Year's Day week. So the week of New Year's Day, the same thing happens. New Year's Day is on a Wednesday. They'll be watching football in the Rose Bowl parade or whatever. Yeah, they're not going to be working. So they're going to be doing, Wednesday will be Thursday, Thursday will be Friday, Friday will be Saturday, and never the what do you call it? Never the twain shall meet. So they're going to change everything for that. So you got that? Write it down. I know. There's going to be somebody taking their garbage out. And for all of you that have real trees, that bother with real trees anymore, I don't know if there's a lot. I know Dominic, what's his name, Caruso does, because I saw him out there buying a tree for $75. That's what they were charging this year. Well, they collected on the Epiphany, Dominic, and you know what that is. La Bufana there comes there, January 6th, the Epiphany. And it has to be to the curb by 7 a.m., your tree. And they're going to come around and get the real trees. You got an artificial tree, that goes there. No, you don't put that out with the real trees. No. Oh, I'm already coughing. It's so cold in here. Holy crap. It's like a freezer. You talk about dingling shrinkage. Yeah, well, this is it. I remember a lady running out one day with her garbage. She had a bag garbage running out because she didn't get it out for the truck. And she said to the trash guy, "Hey, you got enough room in that truck for one more?" And he goes, "Sure, lady. Jump in." Bada boom. There you go. So, whoa. Public service announcement number 2. And this is a bunch of number 2 because all it is just a money making scheme. That the cities come up with these money making schemes, right? They don't blow enough of our tax dollars, so they come up with other money making schemes to make sure that we're tapped right out and we got to live in tents. The speed camera on McLeod Road. Speed camera, McLeod Road, by Jubilee Drive is up and running, operational. Someone said they saw the speeders flash from the camera, so they know it's working. Somebody got a ticket, they saw it flash. So when you look up in the sky looking for drones, you might see a big thing of the Bladerunner. And that's to tell the Bladerunner it's up and running and to get down there and take care of business. Whoever the Bladerunner is, we don't know who he is, who they are. There might be more than one. I don't know. But they seem to do a good job on these speed cameras. By the time the Bladerunner finishes, it's on its back, looking up at the sky and getting the speed on drones. Yeah, it's checking out the speed on drones. And then they come and fix it, and then the Bladerunner gets it again. So I don't know. I haven't seen them, but that Bladerunner signal's probably gone out, and the speed camera could be taking pictures of drones anytime now. Stay tuned for that one, but we do have a Bladerunner running around. I guess he does not like these speed cameras, and they generate big money. So why do they have them? They keep cutting them down. Why put them up? Nobody wants them because they make money. Like I'm talking 20 million a year. Oh yeah, big money. We're talking big money here. All the tickets out, and I mean, if you go 1 kilometer over, you might get a ticket. Yeah, the ticket's $5 from 1 to 9 kilometers over. I think $5, and there's a $150 administration fee. And somebody was saying, "Don't pay them, you fight them." And I'm going, listen. I don't care what people think. They can take these to court. They can do whatever they want. and they're not going to beat it. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but you're better off just paying it. Believe me, that's the way it goes. And I know these people. They'll say, "Well, don't pay your taxes. Don't do this. Don't do that." But the bottom line is, you have no choice. No matter how powerful you think you are and what rights you have, when it comes down to that, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to fight these things. Seriously. You got to get a lawyer. You got to wait months. You got to go to court. You got to take time off work. You got to get that. Then you got to get a ruling, and and you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. So if you lose, what are you going to do? You're going to appeal it to the Supreme Court. I mean, these are laws, and they've got the leverage on you. They'll just take your license away. You got a fine, you don't pay. You know what happens? You go to renew your license. You know what they say? Ah, no, you got to pay the fine. And by the way, since it was last year, you also owe another $400 for taxes. Not for taxes. That's another story. For interest. Oh yeah, they charge you interest on the money. So and more administration fees and crap. I mean, you don't get any points off. You don't get any demerits. Your insurance company doesn't know. So all it is just money. You pay to speed. You want to speed? Go ahead. You're just going to pay for it. That's what it boils down to. It's a tax on speeders. You want to speed? You pay. That's it. No points, no nothing. Your insurance company doesn't know. So you tell me what you're better off to do. Fight it and waste all your time in that on principle. And that's fine if you do. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it's easier to cough up the few $100s and just be done with it and learn your lesson and don't speed there anymore. Don't speed around town. Sadly, that's what it's come to in this country. Like, yeah, you lost your right to speed. If that was ever a right, I don't know if that's in the Constitution. You could speed. I don't think so, but yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about these speed cameras and your options, and tomorrow on tomorrow's show, because I will be doing a show tomorrow. Now I'm not going to be in the studio here doing it live on the radio, so if you're going to listen on 4680Q, you won't hear me tomorrow. But if you go to YouTube in the afternoon, say maybe around 2 o'clock or something like that, 2:30, it'll be up on YouTube, the video, and you can watch the whole show. I don't know how long it's going to be, if it's going to be a whole hour. I'm gonna rip off a quick show about what's going on and that kind of thing, and that'll be that. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and that'll be that until, and I won't have a show Christmas Day. We'll be back on Tuesday or Thursday, Thursday, Boxing Day. We'll be back on Boxing Day with Absolutely, a special edition of Absolutely. Friday will be Finally Friday. Monday will be Manic Monday. Tuesday will be the New Year's Eve Day show on Tuesday, like normal. And then, oh no, actually, what I'm going to do on Tuesday, the 31st, is do another edition of Absolutely. So Monday, normal show, Manic Monday. Tuesday will be Absolutely. And we'll catch that in there. And then Thursday, we'll be back to normal January 2nd, and everything will be back to normal at that point in time. So there you go. If you're listening in, that's what you're going to hear. But don't just not listen in on Christmas Day. If you want some good music, they play great music on this station. Tune in, have some music while you have people over in that background music. Nice, nice. Okay, I was talking about drones there a second ago, taking pictures of the drones, the speed radar, checking the speed of drones. I got a great message and video from my buddy Ken Parker. He's in Myrtle Beach. And the video was of drones doing a laser light show, a drone show, right? Over the beach rather than fireworks, which I think is spectacular. We saw them last summer. They did a trial run of one here, and it was phenomenal. And that was just like a cheap old one they put together just to demonstrate. I mean, I can't even imagine what you could do at Christmas with these things. It's just fantastic. And way better than fireworks. It was accompanied by music as well, Christmas music. So we had that last summer. If you saw it, I don't know, I did. It was fantastic. Drone technologies do tremendous light shows. And that's really what we want. We'd love to see these tremendous light shows with drones, right? Parks Commission has not said another word about it. We haven't heard any more about it. But I think Tourism Minister Stan Cho, who wants to double the number of tourists that come here every year, he wants to up it from 13 million to 26 million by integrating all of the region together in one big attraction and have a major amusement park type of attraction in Niagara Falls. So Stan Cho, I think if he wants to pump up tourism, this could be one of the beautiful draws he could use. This laser light show with with drones. It's fantastic. And I think it's a draw. I think fireworks have run their course. Nobody, to me, they're boring. Fireworks are always boring. They make a lot of noise. They scare all the animals, and they're boring. And then you got the smoke and everything else that goes along with them. No noise, no smoke, no pollution. That's what drone light shows are about. And I think that's what's needed in Niagara Falls. We gotta reach out to technology and do some new stuff, and people will be blown away by this stuff once they get it really, really made. And awesome videos that Ken sent me, just fantastic, of these light shows with the drones, the drain. Why do I keep saying drains? The drains. It's it's not the drains. It's the drones. Awesome. Awesome videos. Thanks, Ken, for sending me that. Merry Christmas to you and your family. But yeah, we can start looking at this kind of stuff. Technology. Technology for the win. Now let's do have some viewer comments here. Viewer comments on the videos are always funny. I laugh my head off at a lot of them. They're really good. And I like to read them. So keep sending those comments in. Dave Wheeler on the December 20th show. I was talking about the U.S. Being the 51st state, right? And Trump saying that and busting Justin Castro's balls about it. He says, Dave Wheeler at 1158 says, the U.S. should join Canada as the 11th province. Trump can be the mayor of Mar-a-Lago. Good comment. Pierre Poilievre should ask Trump about that when he's elected in a few months. And, we are going to have an election in a few months. It's going to happen. So maybe Pierre can talk to Trump about being the 11th province. That's a pretty big province, 350 million people in one province. Holy crap. But that's Dave Wheeler's take on it. Come on. And speaking of Pierre Poilievre, Jimmy Dollywall is saying on January 27th when Parliament reconvenes, he's going to take the Liberal government down. Well, he tore up that contract he had with him for the coalition government last fall when CP Rail was on strike and they wanted to mandate them back to work. He didn't like that because he's a socialist, of course, union guy. And he said, that's it. He tore the thing up, threw it on the ground, which was, just a staged event. It's all baloney, right? It's all to freak out the public and fool everybody. But he's not fooling me. He didn't fool most people, by the way. They're not that stupid. But now he says he's going to take him down. He's had it. He's had it with him. He's had it. So, okay, I'll take him down. What do I care? Go ahead. You said that a million times you're going to do that. You never did yet. Why should we believe you? And by the way, January 27th isn't the date when your pension kicks in, brother. You got to wait another 4 weeks or so. Oh, at 881 Slick, dropping the diamonds. Sorry, my friend, someone has to pay attention. Not sure exactly what that means. That's what he said. So I know that at 881 Slick gave Wheel some static for being too nice when doling out diamonds or coal last week on the Diamonds or Coal show we had. Filling up city council stockings with diamonds and coal, depending on what they deserve this year. And I don't know what he meant by that, but sorry, my friend, someone has to pay attention, which is right. So everybody's got to pay attention, not someone. I mean, Dave Wheeler, yeah, you pay attention there, Wheels. But a lot of people in this city have to start paying attention to what's going on at City Hall with their taxpayer dollars. And I try to do it every day on here, tell people what's going on. It doesn't seem to help. And when the next election comes up, it's going to be very interesting to see where the votes go. You only have a couple years to wait. It's not that long. It seems like it is, but there's going to be another election, and we're going to see what's going to happen with it. Pay attention, everybody. 881 Slick, you are right. Pay attention. Pay attention. I think maybe 81 Slick thought Davy Boy was dropping too many diamonds for his liking. At Penny Brookify, did you call that woman Chopper? It's like listening to my dad and his brothers. Well, yeah, yeah, it is. Because I hung around with your dad and his brothers for a lot of years. And the legend of Chopper goes way back to the days of Main and Ferry in the 70s. I can't tell you the stories about Chopper. I just can't tell you those stories. But only a few special individuals would know the story and the legend of Chopper. And they would know what the hell I was talking about. Your dad and his brothers, of course, Hollywood, Don Carnivale, call him Hollywood, and Rocco, the Rocket Carnivale. That's Leo, Father Leo's brothers. I mean, these are our guys that hang around. And of course, they would know what I'm talking about. And of course, at Penny Brookify would know what I'm talking about because I'm sure she heard her, like you said, father and uncle say it many, many times. Oh, Chopper. Thanks to all the viewers and commenters. I appreciate all the views. I appreciate the comments. Come on, keep those views and comments coming. Hit that subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me you don't like what I'm saying. Tell me you like what I'm saying. Either way, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm more interested in you paying attention to what I'm saying. And then when it comes to election time, showing up to vote so we can get rid of these guys and the ones that deserve to be got rid of anyway. And we can have the council that we should have, not the one that we have, because nobody gets out and vote. 27% of the vote doesn't cut it, ladies and gentlemen. Over to my second sponsor, Victoria Avenue Pizza. And this time of year you have a lot of people over, and you don't want to cook anything because they're coming over to hang around. You want to have a couple of pops, but you got to give them something to eat. So what do? Pick up the phone, 905-374-2222. You call Victoria Avenue Pizza, and you get a fantastic tray of pizza that's really, really good. I had one. I had to have their tray just to see what it's like, and it was good. It was very good. And I hate to say this, but I don't need a whole tray at once, so I freeze it. And I had a couple pieces before I came into the studio, to be honest with you. Nothing makes me happier than pizza. And a couple wings to go with it if possible. And they have great wings, too. As a matter of fact, their whole menu is really good. I've had the steak and cheese poutine, the wings. Everything's pretty good. My buddy Tony Nero had the steak sub. He said it was fantastic. So there you go. What more can I say? Victoria Avenue Pizza. They're open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturdays, so that you come back after a couple of wobbly pops, and you feel like grabbing something to eat while you watch the late night Fright Night. And there you go. They're open for you. 20 minutes, you got a beautiful fresh pizza. You can also order online at pizzavictoria.ca. Give them a call today. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. They said to tell all of my viewers Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Mike and the gang at Victoria Avenue Pizza. They're going to do you right. Call them today. They make a fantastic pizza. Well. NORAD is already tracking Santa as he prepares for his trip around the world. And they're issuing warnings to people in New Jersey as we speak. They're saying when Santa flies over New Jersey, and don't shoot at him. He's got all the reindeer wearing flak jackets, and he's got a bulletproof vest on himself. A large one, extra large one, of course. Santa's a jolly, good soul. But yeah, he says, when I fly over New Jersey, I got to wear bulletproof vests and get the reindeer all decked out because people are shooting at these drones. And when he flies over, they see Rudolph's red nose. So what are they going to start doing? They're going to start shooting. And they're shooting at the drones. and they don't want, he doesn't want them to mistake Santa's reindeer for a drone. Now, he also said, like he doesn't want to get shot down because if he crashes with all the reindeers, Chris Christie might eat him. He loves reindeer medium rare. So so there's that. So listen, New Jersey, NORAD's clocking Santa. He's flying around Christmas Eve. Don't be shooting at stuff. Put your guns away. Don't be shooting at stuff. So I was thinking, like things we did for memory, or from in my memory of things that we did as kids. And somebody asked me, "What was your favorite Christmas?" A lot of Christmases and Christmas Eves I don't even remember, to be honest with you. Especially after I turned 18. they were spent usually out having a couple of pops, and usually one too many. And Christmas Day sometimes wasn't very great because hangovers are tough to deal with. But the one I did remember was in around, it was probably 1963, 1964. And that year, I spent Christmas in California. My uncle took me down there with him, and I was probably 11 or 12 years old. My uncle was a rounder. He was round, but he was a rounder. Yeah, he liked all the good stuff, smoking cigars, drinking, gambling, and all the good stuff in life. And he was actually headed to the Rose Bowl to see the big whatever, whoever plays in the Rose Bowl, UCLA, USC, whoever gets into the Rose Bowl game. He was headed down there for that. And he asked if I wanted to go with him. And then, of course, my parents said, "Sure, go ahead." In those days, you could do stuff like that. I mean, I had a neighbor who drove for CN. He was an engineer, and he'd say, "Hey, Paul, you want to go for a ride in the train?" And I thought, "Oh, yeah, you go for a ride in the train. He's going to put you in the back, and you ride to Toronto Union Station." Oh no, I was up in the engine watching. Oh yeah, these are the kind of things you could do. I mean, you wouldn't even imagine that now. Are you kidding me? No. But yeah, I rode right in the engine, the Union Station, and did the turnaround back to Niagara with my neighbor who was an engineer for CN, right? These are the things you could do. So yeah, we went down there, and of course, I have an uncle and an aunt down there. Although they passed away now, and a couple cousins. So I went down with them, and we went to my aunt's house, and I stayed there. Well, he headed to Vegas for a week or so or more before they came back to the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day in Pasadena. And yeah, we hung around there. So we jumped on a plane in Buffalo, and I mean, this is a thrill. I mean, 12 years old, 12-year-old kid flying to California, and away we went. Now, my uncle didn't hang around there long. He met some friends, one of them being Chicky Lou of the Jade Garden in Niagara Falls. He was down there, and they headed to Vegas for the week and then came back to go to the game. But I would have loved to go to Vegas with him. I was too young, but I would have loved to because those were the days of the Rat Pack and everything. Everybody was hanging around Vegas. Vegas was like a big deal. It took me another decade before I got there in the early '70s, and my uncle had a lot of connections, let's say, and he knew a lot of people, and there was a lot of people from this area that were down in Vegas working and stuff, right? There's a big contingent from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Niagara Falls, New York, down in Vegas working. And some of the locals from Niagara Falls actually own, restaurants down there and that kind of thing. There was one that we always went to called the Venetian. I think it was on, I want to say the road past Circus, whatever the hell that road is. Can't remember now. It was a long time ago. And yeah, we always go there. We'd always go there. There's some, I think some people from Silvertown own the restaurant, and a couple of locals we knew worked there, as a matter of fact. And there's a big contingent from Niagara Falls, New York, too. We used to go down there and meet up with some of them that ran nightclubs and stuff down there. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there's so many down there. They actually had a picnic every summer just for the Canadians from back here and the Niagara Falls, New York people, too, right? So, I don't know if they have it anymore. I'm talking back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. It was a really big deal. But my uncle knew a lot of people down there too. So In those days, if you knew people down in Vegas, everything was comped. You wouldn't pay for anything except your gambling, really. So they were there over there, and I stayed with my cousin at his house for Christmas. And back in the day, then, I mean, James Bond had just come out. Doctor No just came out in 1962, and once James Bond came out, everybody wanted to be a secret agent, right? Secret agent, man. And so they had this thing that the toy manufacturers had made up called Secret Sam. So it was the weirdest thing. Like today, you wouldn't even think of giving this to kids. No, you wouldn't even think of it. You wouldn't think of handing this to kids and letting them play with it. But what it was an attaché case, like a briefcase, and inside were all the components to turn a gun, 9 millimeter, right, type of gun, into a rifle. So you'd undo it and you'd put on the stock and you'd put on the barrel and you put the silencer on it and then a scope you put on it. And there was a secret agent camera that you could take pictures without, it wouldn't take pictures. It just clicked like you would. But when you held the briefcase, if you pushed the secret button, it would snap like it was taking a picture, right? So this is a pretty cool thing. Everybody wanted one of these things. I got one for Christmas down there. I wish I still had it. I saw them on eBay for like $300 or $400. But it was pretty cool in the day bringing that back home here. Nobody else had one. I was the only one who had one. I knew. Not that. Not, I mean, I look back on how stupid. Like this is a big deal. Who cares? Today, the kids would have a real one. Never mind a toy one. They'd be going around the briefcase with a real gun all set up. The gangsters had violin cases, like kids had Secret Sam, right? And yeah, but it was pretty cool to have. And the other thing I got back then, which was unheard of for a kid to have, was a tape recorder, a battery operated tape recorder, reel to reel. I mean, there's no cassettes back then and all that, right? Eight tracks were still 6 years away. And yeah, so it had a little microphone and you could talk, and it was pretty cool for a little kid. That's what I got when I was down there for Christmas, right? So it was really, really neat. And the Secret Sam, of course, the lefties and the woke would take that right away. They cancel that. Oh, you'd never see that on the streets. That's dangerous. They don't really have anything like that anymore, right? They're encouraging boys to be girls, not to carry Secret Sams and put together a gun. But pretty neat. And while I was there, my aunt and uncle took me all over the place: Hollywood, Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland. Disneyland was phenomenal. I mean, back in the '60s, it just started at the castle and all the different rides, the monorail, all the great stuff that Disneyland was in Anaheim. And they lived in La Puente, which was um it was just outside of LA, like it's outside of LA, by Covina and all that. So that was pretty central to all these different places, like Knott's Berry Farm and all that in Anaheim. They're in Anaheim, a lot of these places. Anaheim, there was Disneyland, and the Rose Bowl's in Pasadena. So, you're only about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes from all this stuff. And then you go the other way, to east, and you head into LA. You head into LA from there. So pretty neat stuff when you're a 11 or 12-year-old kid going to California with your uncle, um, and staying with your cousins. So pretty cool, man. And I also visited a friend of mine down there who lived 2 doors down from me in Niagara Falls, but his father got a job with, I think, with Heinz Corporation, and moved to California. When they were in the neighborhood, they were there for a couple of years. Then they moved out and went to California, and I kept in touch with them, and actually went and saw them as well, which was pretty cool. And we were out in the road playing ball hockey, and you're talking the early '60s here. There's no ball hockey in California or hockey in California. So we were the only guys out on the street with hockey sticks and goalie equipment. Somebody would go and goal and take shots and stuff with a net. There. and people watching going, what the hell are these guys doing, right? They didn't know nothing about hockey back then in California. And now they got a whack of teams there. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I still keep in touch with the guy. I mean, I was there maybe 10 years ago when I was in California. We went and saw his parents. They live out in Palm Desert towards Palm Springs. They were in their 80s then. They're in their 90s now. I think they're still alive. And it was good to see everybody. But yeah, that trip to California, if I had one of my Christmases, that was probably my most memorable Christmas as a kid for sure. For sure. So pretty cool to do something like that when you're that young with your uncle. Uh, and yeah, like I say, I went to Vegas in the early 70s myself. I went down my uncle and that, and we ended up in Vegas. I was of age. It's 21, right? In Vegas, you have to be 21. So I turned 21 in like 73. So that was probably the first time I went to Vegas. You could get into the casinos and gamble and that. And then I went there. I don't know. I've been there. I don't know, maybe 100 times. I don't know how many times. I can't keep track of it. We used to go every weekend. I stayed in California for from May till September one year, and we went every weekend. One of my buddies, his grandfather had a condo there, and his dad was a pit boss in one of the casinos, so we were there every weekend hanging around. So it was pretty cool, pretty cool. But that Christmas was probably one of my most memorable. Let me put it that way, and one that I remember actually. Oh, so let's get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Shop. And if you want anything fixed that's metal, Hamel Machine Shop is the place to go. A few years back, I wanted to get a set of gates made for my backyard. I didn't like anything you could buy pre-made, so I had an idea of what I wanted. I got a guy to weld them up, make them, powder coat them, and that. But I had to search all over the place for them. I didn't know where the heck to go to get them. And now I know Hamel Machine Shop does this kind of thing. Not to mention fixes anything metal. You break something on anything you have around the house that's metal, and they can either fix it or fabricate a new one. That's what they do in a machine shop. They do big industrial jobs for the wineries. They do smaller jobs for the city. If they break a deck on the lawnmower hitting a rock or something, they can patch it up and get them back going. That's what Hamel Machine Shop does. Not to mention any kind of machining and milling, anything that you need on a piece of metal. And they have a laser printer, or sorry, a laser cutter that'll cut metal with a laser, and a 3D printer, so they can actually manufacture parts for something if you need a part, they can reverse engineer it, manufacture it. If you break something, they can reverse engineer it. If they can't fix it, they do everything. And they don't charge these outrageous rates. I mean, you go in there, you get a shop rate, and they charge you the time and material basically to do it, or time if you don't need any material. So they're very fair with everybody. And the city uses them for a lot of stuff. I mean, even guys like Jody Burdett, he was in the studio and he said he used them to make some pieces that he needed for his place on Bridge Street that he built. So yeah, they're friendly to everybody. And I always, whenever I have something I need fixed, I don't know where to go to get it fixed. Now I know Hamel Machine Shop. They do it all. Go to hamelmachine.ca. You'll see everything they do. They've been around since 1948. So they're a long time business in Niagara Falls, small business. Give them a call. With anything you need, they can help you. And I encourage everybody to support small business in Niagara Falls. My sponsors, support them. Support all small businesses. I mean, they're the guys who make the city run, and support them as best you can in the city. And Hamel's another one of them that do a great job. And they want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Um, and all the best to everybody. Same as all my other sponsors. You get down there and go see them. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. They'll be glad to hear that. And I'm going to get Bob in here. I got to get Bob, the owner, Bob Benner, the owner, in here, and he's going to tell us all about Hamel. I'm going to do a meet the owner. Maybe I'll get him in here next Friday. Yeah, maybe next Friday, or maybe this Friday. Yeah, and in the next few weeks, I'll get him in to talk about his place so you know more about it. And he can tell you better than I can the things that he does. They do a lot of work. So, on to my next item here. If you've been watching the news, You will really see right now is the most man, it's freezing in here. Is a perfect time to see how MSM mainstream media manipulates you. They really, really do. Right now, there are so many things going on in mainstream media, adds and subtracts things they want you to know or don't want you to know. They play fast and loose with everything and they confuse people. And that's what they want. They want you confused. So you got to keep your eyes open. You got to, eyes wide open for everything. First off, we had the November election. For 3 solid months, we saw Trump, Kamala, JD Vance. All of them were front and center. That's all they talked about. And the more they could disparage Trump, the better, of course. That's what they do. They're left wing media. So that's what we saw. Now, after Trump landslided Kamala, the narrative changed back to the wars that dominated the news for the last couple of years. Right? So we heard about that after Trump. And all the bad things he's going to do, like immigration, da da da, da, and all the mayors saying they're not going to let him do that. They have no choice, and all that. And then the wars, they went back to the wars, the Ukraine, World War III, the Middle East, Iran and Israel shaking their sabers at each other and firing missiles off. Then some crazed maniac guns down the CEO of the largest healthcare insurance company in America. Now that plays for about a week until they captured him and packed him off to jail. And just when we were finding out more about him, because this story is far from being told, there's lots going on here. I think the guy's some kind of Manchurian candidate. Somebody put him up to this. He had accomplices. This is going to be right up there with Oswald. And all of a sudden, the drones take over. How convenient. All of a sudden, the drones take over. We don't hear much about Luigi anymore. And I want to start a band called Luigi and the Drones. I think that would be appropriate right now. Luigi and the Drones. Now, the drones are a big deal. And then, once you get through with the drones, people had enough of them. Nobody's saying anything. The government's not saying anything. The mainstream media flips over to a guy mowing down people in Germany. And there's been about 5 mass shootings in the last 5 weeks in the United States at schools and stuff. They concentrate on them. Then they try to hide them. And of course, we're in, what are we? Today's the 23rd. So we got 8 days. And then we've got another 28 days. Excuse me. 28 days until we have to deal with the inauguration. And they're going between now and then. These drones are searching for dirty bombs that somebody's going to blow up between now and inauguration day or at the inauguration. And you hear these stories and you go, come on. And if you don't believe them, Trump is considering moving the inauguration from the Capitol to somewhere else that's more protected. That's how much of a worry. And he's canceled anything he has going to Bedminster, the golf course, that these drones are flying over. So if you don't take it seriously and think it's serious, even though the media has kind of moved away from it a little bit, the mainstream media anyway, it is. It's serious business going on right now. And nobody's got any answers. It's just crazy. And that's all while the U.S. launched a major shelling of Houthis in Yemen, escalating that part of the war. Trump going all in on the hostages in Gaza, telling Hamas if the hostages are not released by January 20th, all hell is going to break loose. There's going to be hell to pay. So, like that was one statement, and we never heard much more about that. And in the meantime, nice and quietly on the side, you'll be hard pressed to find the more mainstream media talking about this. Biden's pardoning thousands of criminals and commuting sentences, particularly 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates he pardoned. Well, he didn't pardon them. They're not off. He commuted their sentence so that they wouldn't face the death penalty because he figured Trump was going to have the death penalties all carried out on him. Now, he also pardoned, of course, his son, Hunter, for 10 years, 10 past years of criminal activity, goes back 10 years, which is never heard of before. And it also means that Biden can't be charged because they can't charge Hunter and they can't do anything with him. Yeah, Biden's off the hook too. Oh, gosh. He also wants to grant just in case pardons to people like Shifty Shift, Hillary, Obama, Pelosi, Fauci, the whole gang, his whole gang of criminals. He wants to give them pardons before they're even charged with anything. They're not indicted. They're not charged with anything. He wants to give them pardons just in case Trump goes after them. Unheard of, never heard of, probably not even legal. But this is the kind of wacko stuff that's getting buried in the news. I mean, you really have to look for this stuff. But it's going on. And that's where the mainstream media comes in with all these other stories and just keep shifting them around. So you can't really hone in on one story and get the right story. You're being shifted around all over the place for some bizarre reason. So, yeah, I mean, the administration right now, Biden, is doing everything it can before Trump takes over to start screwing him around. Everything they can do to have a smooth transition of power is not going to happen, right down to the fact that he may have to move it from the Capitol building because they're so afraid of what's going to happen. I mean, they want to start World War III. They want the southern border to stay open. They're out selling off anything left of the wall that Trump had sitting waiting to be put up as soon as he gets inaugurated. They're pardoning everybody, just making it impossible for a smooth transition. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild on January 20th. Then we make it to that without anything big happening. So this is crazy time. You think Christmas would be nice and peaceful for 4 years before Biden. It was. We never had anything going on. There's no wars, nothing. And now every day, and especially because Christmas is a Christian holiday, and the Muslims don't like that. So every day there's the chance of them doing something to disrupt the Christmas season, right? Christmas. So it's just crazy, man. Just crazy. So, just stay tuned and see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, I'm expecting something. It'd be very odd if nothing happened because it's all out there. And buried in the news is Luigi Mangione, and he's in Manhattan to appear in court to face state charges and in the death of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. And that case is going to run parallel to his federal prosecution on gun charges. And that could carry the death penalty. The max charges in the state charge will be life in prison. Federal charges can send you to death row, like he pardoned 37 of 40 people there now, Biden. Luigi's in the same lockup in New York as P. Diddy and Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO and founder of FTX, who was convicted on several charges of fraud and conspiracy. So they're all together. They're all together in the lockup in New York. And I guess Mangione's going to face state charges first. But I don't know. I'm not buying any of it. There's a lot more to this story than we've been told. It's going to come out, I think, eventually, maybe. Way too many loose ends, including the gun, the way he killed the CEO, the very careless way he staged the getaway, and his easy arrest. I mean, I have to ask why his family didn't call in the cops. They must have recognized that picture, but no. He was traveling all over, paying cash. And what kind of moron carries the gun with him, along with the clothes he was wearing, and a manifesto saying what he was going to do and why? Even a total idiot wouldn't do that, especially in what seems such a well-planned hit. And, well planned, but he exposed himself on cameras. He did all kinds of stuff to get caught. So he must have known he wasn't going to get away with it. Come on. This guy was not stupid. This guy wasn't stupid. He was a very intelligent kid. Well, 28 years old or whatever he was. And then you got people on the left who think that Thompson deserved to be gunned down. And they're advocating that this Mangione guy be set free, that he did society a favor because these healthcare insurance people are are terrible to people. They don't pay claims, and they disrupt their lives and everything else. I mean, I've never heard of anything so crazy. So that's going to go to trial, and that'll be interesting. But this mainstream media playing games with you. You don't get the truth out of these guys. You don't get the truth. The same with the drones. I mean, I had one guy. I was listening to one guy today. It was an interesting take he had on it. He thinks that there's a like we're in a simulation type of thing, right? And we go along, and whoever's running the simulation lets us do whatever we want. We go along doing what we want, but when we get to the edge, we get carried away. That whoever it is steps in and makes sure that everything ends up all right. And that's what he's saying is happening with what happened with Trump, right? They assassinated him. Well, he got in there and changed the program, so Trump was missed because him getting assassinated right then would have changed everything, the whole simulation. That was like one of the big events that would change the whole simulation. And he steps in and does this, and these drones are him stepping in, you know, stopping a nuclear war from happening and all kinds of stuff. So some weird theory, but you know what? This is what happens when we don't get the truth from government, when they gaslight us. And when you think on a big level like that with Mangione and the drones and everything else, and what's going on with the wars, and Putin and Zelensky and that. But you even look around in Niagara Falls when they're not honest with you about stuff. Like right on the show, people start talking about this, they're doing that. And is it true? Well, we don't know. And the problem that they're not transparent in telling us and we don't know gives rise to fabrications. People trying to make sense out of it and trying to use common sense to solve the riddle, whatever that riddle may be. Like the riddle of Kennedy's assassination, the riddle of the shooter at Trump, what he was really up to, and who he was working with, and now the riddle of Mangione on the streets of Manhattan shooting down a CEO of a healthcare care company. So these are the things that come out of the woodwork when you're not transparent. Rather than telling people what's going on, you let them make up their own scenarios, which is never good. So lesson learned to everybody, city council and everybody, be upfront. Let people know what you're doing. And then you get rid of these rumors, right? If you're upfront, nobody's got any rumors to think. You told them exactly what's going on. But it's got to be believable. You can't have the military saying they don't know anything about the drones. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know why they're here. I mean, that doesn't cut it. And it doesn't cut it because it's too impossible for an Iranian ship or these drones to be flying over sovereign territory in the United States, who has the best military, the best surveillance, the best intelligence in the world, without them knowing. Without them knowing. I mean, how hard is it to follow these things back to where they're coming from? How hard is it to capture one of these crazy things? I mean, so when they come up with this baloney, nobody believes it, and then they can't figure out why. Oh, nobody believes us. Well, no, of course not. It's nonsense. Nobody can make sense out of that. How can they make sense out of the military not knowing where these are coming from and who's setting them up? Come on, that's just ridiculous. So yeah, if you want people to believe stuff, or if you want people to have faith in government, you have to be upfront and open with them. You have to be upfront and open with them. I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, right now, people are saying they're looking for dirty bombs, and one's going to go off before inauguration day. It's got a lot of people freaking out in New Jersey and around the country and worried. People by military bases and that, and I mean, people are being told don't go go to New Jersey. Get the hell out from now until the inauguration day. Get out. So this is the kind of stuff you get. And we saw the guy firing at the drones. He's shooting tracer rounds at the drones, and you can see they're hitting them. They're hitting their target, but they're bouncing off like a force field with something from Star Trek, and they're not bringing anything down. So that's pretty weird. And some of the drones that you're seeing are not like drones that you think of. they're big military drones, but they're also like these spitting orbs. It looks like just a bunch of spitting lights, plasma or something like that. Really, really weird. So it's not just that kind of thing. So there's something else going on, but nobody will tell you. And they're surveying like power plants and military bases and water reservoirs and that. And so I keep looking over towards the power plants at night. I mean, some people have told me, messaged me, they've seen them around here, drones. Now, I've looked, and I've looked at the power plant. I haven't seen any drones myself yet, but people have told me they have, and I don't doubt it. There's something going on, and it's not just in New Jersey and Ohio and all these other places in the states. They're here too, and we have two power plants here. So anything nefarious, I mean, those power plants, you wipe them or you wipe the whole Northeast out. So there you go. Anyway, until they are honest with us and that, we're not going to find out. We're not going to find out anything. So yeah. So this is what's going on at Christmas in North America, and we got wars in Europe, and we got wars in the Middle East, and we got China threatening and doing all kinds of wacky stuff in Africa, challenging Musk and his Starlinks. They want to put up Huawei, who we threw out of the country, and the states threw them out. They want to do another internet thing for Africa. They're taking over Africa, these guys. And then we got North Korea. He's been pretty quiet lately, Jong-un, but he did send troops there, and he wants to send more to the front in Ukraine. So coming into the new year, Christmas and the new year, there's lots going on around the world. And it doesn't seem to be getting better yet. But on January 20th, we don't know. So we don't know what's going to happen. So we just got to hope things get better. You've got Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas. Be nice and peaceful out there and have fun with your family and that. And just be careful, be aware, be vigilant. You don't know what's going to happen out there. I'm telling you, this is a wacky, wacky world we live in right now. And it's not getting any saner. It's not getting any saner. And, and I love Trump, though. He's rattling everybody out there. Says he wants to buy Greenland again. He wants Canada to be the 51st state. He wants Greenland for security for North America. He wants it before somebody else gets in there. So that, and he told the guy in Panama, listen, we're taking back the canal. We want the canal back. It's too much of a security threat with ships from China coming through it and everything else. We want control of it again. We're taking over the Panama Canal again. And the guy from Panama says, no, you're not. So that's going to be interesting. He's doing a lot of stuff here, getting ready. He says on January 20th at noon, he gets sworn in. By 2 o'clock, he's going to be signing executive orders. That's what he said. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. My transition team is ready to go. By 2 o'clock, we're signing executive orders to close down the border, drill baby drill, and do all the other things that he said he's going to do. He goes, what I told the people I'm going to do, they elected me on that, and I'm doing it. So if you don't think he is anybody out there, you think he's he's full of baloney in that, don't count on it. Okay, so I'm out of here for today. Tomorrow's show will not be in the studio, so you can't listen live on 4680Q, but I will release a YouTube video in the afternoon, so you want to watch that. Thursday's Boxing Day, special edition of Absolutely. Friday will be the regular Friday show, finally Friday, as will Monday the 30th. And Tuesday the 31st, New Year's Eve, I may do another show from home. Well, not from home, from the videos of Video Sign Incorporated. Home doesn't sound good. You got a Video Sign Incorporated. You got to have a corporation. From there, and then New Year's Day. Oh, no, Tuesday, that's right. I got to remember this. Oh, God. Tuesday, 31st, will be Absolutely. Because between the show on Boxing Day, that takes in last week, and the show, then there's 3 games. They're playing 3 games. So we'll be there. John Filion and I and my co-host will be there to do Absolutely on the New Year's Eve day on the 31st. So we'll be in the studio. Anyway, good luck to everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow, but have a great Christmas. Get out there, do all your shopping. I know everybody's procrastinating last minute shopping. Get them all. Get your stuff done, and let's get ready for a nice Christmas for everybody, and work towards a happy New Year. And then we just hold our breath till the 20th, hoping nothing happens. If it doesn't happen in the next week or so, a couple weeks, and we go from there. So take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate my guys and everybody that listens in. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and also Hamel Machine Shop. And they wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I will talk to you tomorrow on video, YouTube. You'll see a show. And on Christmas Day, we'll be celebrating Christmas the way we usually do. Take care, everybody. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.